Over a year ago, I made a video about my top 3 best World of Warcraft private servers in 2022. Many things in that video are still up to date, but some things have changed since. New strong servers were introduced and some old fell off. This is my personal top 3 list, after having played on dozens of World of Warcraft private servers in the last few months. It may differ from yours, in which case you can let us know what your top private server list would consist of in the comments. Most of the servers mentioned in this video I have played on and also made at least one video going through its main features and even reviewing some of them, so you can find those videos on my channel. There are more than just 3 servers that would deserve a mention, and that is why I will briefly include a few of those here in the honorable mention section. I'm not a big fan of Vanilla and the Burning Crusade servers, but there are 2 that are killing it right now. Turtle WoW is a Vanilla Plus World of Warcraft private server, which you've probably already heard of, seeing how much attention it's been getting lately. It's got so many custom features. Just clicking on Our Features tab on their website will reveal some of them: cross-faction, class changes, new playable races, new zones, raids and dungeons, and so much more. One thing that it lacks in comparison to other private servers would be more PvP activity, but it's understandable since it's vanilla WoW. But even then, there's War Mode, 2v2 unranked arena, new battleground and other PvP changes. Now that I'm looking at it, I might actually download their client and finally try it out. It sounds so good. And there's one TBC server by an established brand at this point, a server that only came out a few weeks ago, Netherwing by Stormforge, filling the gap where we had no populated Burning Crusade private servers for a long time. Now we finally have Netherwing reaching up to 5,000 players online at peak. Disclaimer: any population numbers revealed by private servers themselves I would take with a grain of salt, but there is no doubt this is by far the most popular TBC server right now and will be for a long time. It is a PvP type realm, so you might get attacked by members of the opposing faction, and it has ×3 XP rates and a few faction balancing adjustments. From the oldest to the newest expansions, there is a staple among World of Warcraft private servers, one that endured the test of time, one that every 2 years comes out with the newest expansions and always has an active player base of thousands of people on the server. Currently on the Shadowlands expansion, which I'm expecting to progress to Dragonflight within 2023, it is of course Firestorm. Not long ago it merged with another big name Shadowlands private server, Freaks, to strengthen its position among the best. Firestorm focus has always been mostly on the latest content, so don't expect perfectly scripted old raids and dungeons. However, many bosses would still work and you will be able to do some of the old content for transmog, mounts and achievements too. Just don't have your expectations too high. Stormforge also has a popular Mists of Pandaria realm called Mistblade. It's been out since January 2022 and quickly rose to the top. It is still active now, although at the end of its progression with the latest Mists of Pandaria patch already out, and we have no idea what comes next to the server, if anything at all. It compares with the last honorable mention, a server that I'm most actively playing on right now. I don't know if I will stay on it long term, if it's gonna be good enough, but I will give it a good look before I'd quit, since the first PvP season and raids have not been opened yet. I'm talking about the new progressive Mists of Pandaria realm, Helios by Twinstar. I was expecting it to be a bit better, not gonna lie. They have been delaying content release as much as possible, losing players' interest in the process, and even once they finally launched it, it had many issues still needing to be fixed. It is a great server though, and it may be competitive in a top 10 private server list, and would easily be in the top 5 in terms of longevity. Not many other servers have been around for as long as Twinstar, and even less would still let you play your over a decade old characters on the same server that progresses through expansions. This impresses me way more than any fresh private server ever will. If you want to know more about Twinstar, I made a review on the Helios realm only a few days ago, so it's still super up to date. And now, finally, my top 3. Starting off with a server that never disappoints. The most reliable server, active over several years with characters up to 8 years old, which you can still play and never worry about not having people to play with because it's always packed. The king of Wrath of Lich King, Warmane. Every time when I don't know where to play, Warmane is a safe option. Only very few World of Warcraft private servers have the kind of population and activity that Warmane does. Even as soon as in early mornings, you are able to queue up for dungeons, do raids, battlegrounds, and even arenas, while on most other servers you would have to wait until at least afternoon to be able to do most of these things. It is also one of only very few servers that have been up and running for several years with no wipes, and may be the only one that has held onto a stable population throughout the years as well. The only other that comes to mind would be WoW Circle, which also has massively popular Wrath of Lich King realms, but these are mostly Russian populated, and you won't find more than a guild or two with international players. Warmane also has a Mist of Pandaria realm, which is empty. The server is not perfect though. It is known for pay to win. You can buy any piece of gear on their donate shop. There is the Lordaeron realm, which is more hardcore and doesn't have those donate options, but then if you PvP, you will still have to fight people from Icecrown and Blackrock realms, where they can pay for their Shadowmourns and have an advantage over you. Multi-boxing is another annoying part of playing on the server. I have made an in-depth review of the server a year ago, where you can find all the details about it. The only thing that has changed since is that the Frostmourne realm no longer exists. A progressive vanilla through TBC and Wrath of Lich King realm will take its place. We have no more info on it as of right now, but it should be a widely popular private server realm, and I would definitely like to try it. So if you want to see it, click subscribe so you don't miss it. The second private server in my top 3 is a semi-new World of Warcraft private server. They first came out with their Wrath of Lich King realm 2 years ago in 2021 called Mograine. That realm didn't last for too long, but this year in 2023, they came back with vengeance and launched a Cataclysm realm called Maelstrom. I'm of course talking about Project Whitemane, the uncontested king of the Cataclysm expansion right now. You either love it or hate it. I can't count how many people said it would die within few weeks. That is just another fast cash grab by Whitemane. Guess what? It's still alive even after 2 months of its existence and doing extremely well. The most populated Cataclysm by far. Not the best scripted, but with a helpful support team, a lot of innovation, custom features, and a World of Warcraft private server that actually listens to suggestions of its players. It is also more focused on PvP than your average private server, which wouldn't give a F and would only really be concerned about PvE for the most part. I've had a great time playing on the server, and as of right now, it is probably a solid second alt server for me after Twinstar Helios and Warmane Wrath of Lich King. I have made a few videos documenting the launch experience, first impressions, and even a full server review that you can find on the channel for more information about the server. And the last one in my top 3 is Project Ascension, a classless World of Warcraft private server, meaning you don't have the usual class choices where you would be limited to how you can play, what talents, spells, and abilities you can choose from. I'm still amazed by what Ascension's been able to do. Just a complete polished experience from the end game all the way to the website and content creation. They leave no stone unturned. I just wish Conquest of Azeroth, their new upcoming realm, would be accessible to everyone. I've been impatiently waiting for it for like 2 years already, and it's still in closed alpha state, accessible only if you donate or buy the access with gold. It's gonna offer 21 new classes like Necromancer, Barbarian, or Reaper, and new spells and abilities. I briefly tried playing on Ascension about a year ago. It was great. You were able to level through battlegrounds even on low levels and try out all the talent combinations, but I also found it extremely overwhelming with as many options. You suddenly don't know what to pick. Plus you have custom enchants on your gear that further improve the performance of certain abilities, so you have to stack those appropriately. What can help with designing your talent build are some pre-made build options that the players themselves are coming up with. The bar for private servers in 2023 is set as high as ever. Many of them rival and even exceed the official Blizzard servers in many ways. It is no longer go play on retail if you want a bug-free experience. And there are hundreds of World of Warcraft private servers in the world, most of which you haven't even heard about. These were the ones that impressed me the most, and I think you wouldn't go wrong playing on either one of these. I also recommend you to watch the World of Warcraft private server awards video from 5 months ago. The information there is still valid, or the video on the best new and upcoming private servers in 2023, of which many have already been released, and some of them will be launching within this year. If you want to stay up to date on what's going on the World of Warcraft private server scene, then subscribe to the channel and like the video if you want to see more of these. Thanks for watching.